Very good morning, students. We are going to discuss about visual arts and literature. For you, here are few of the images of visual arts and literature. Now let us know about what is meant by literature. As the Indian literary tradition is the oldest in the world, it is primarily one of the verse and essentially oral. The earliest works were composed to be sung or recited and were so transmitted for many generations before being written down. In this topic, we are going to discuss about Sanskrit literature, Hindi literature and English literature. Let us start our discussion with Sanskrit literature. India has 22 officially recognized languages and a huge variety of literature has been produced in these languages over the years. Hindu literary tradition dominate a large part of the Indian culture. Apart from the Vedas, which are a sacred form of knowledge, there are other works such as the Hindu epics, Ramayana and Mahabharata. Treatises such as Vastu Shastra in architecture and town planning and Artha Shastra in political science, the most famous works in Sanskrit are the Hindu holy text like the Vedas, Upanishad and Manusmriti. Another popular literature, Tamil literature, has a rich literary tradition spanning over 2000 years and is particularly known for its poetic nature in the form of epics and philosophical and secular works. Other great literary works which marked the golden era of Indian literature include Abhijanam Shakuntalam and Meghdut by Kalidasa. Here we can see some of the other famous works are Chanakya's Arthashastra and Kamasutra, Swapnavasav Dattam by Bhasa, Ratnavali by Sri Harsha. The most famous works of the Indian literature can be traced in the vernacular languages of the northern Indian cults of the Krishna and of Rama. Also included are the 12th century poems of Jaydev called the Gita Govinda and religious love poems written in Maithili, Eastern Hindi, or we can say the state of Bihar, Eastern Hindi of the state of Bihar. Literature was also produced in the form of bhakti, a personal devotion to a god, addressed to Rama, an avatar of Vishnu, most notably in the Awadhi, Eastern Hindi, works of Tulsidas and Ramacharitammanas of Tulsidas. The early gurus or founders of the Sikh region, especially Guru Nanak Dev and Guru Arjun Dev, also composed bhakti to their concepts of deity. In the 16th century, the Rajasthani princess and poet Mirabai addressed her bhakti lyric verse to Krishna, as did the Gujarati poet Narsimha Mehta. Now let's talk about the Hindi literature. Hindi literature started as religious and philosophical poetry in the medieval periods in dialects like Awadhi and Brij. The most famous figures from this period are Kabir and Tulsidas. In modern times, the Khadi dialect became more prominent and a variety of literature was produced in Sanskrit. Chandrakanta, written by Devaki Nandan Khatri, is considered to be the first work of prose in Hindi. Munshi Premchand was the most famous Hindi novelist. The other famous poets includes Maithili Sharan Gupta, Jaishankar Prasad, Sumitra Nandan Panta, Mahadevi Verma and Ramdhari Singh Dinkar. In the British era, a literary revolution occurred with the influence of Western thought and the introduction of printing press. Purposeful works were being written to support the cause of freedom struggle and to remove the existing social evils. Ram Mohan Roy's campaign for introduction of scientific education in India and Swami Vivekananda's work are considered to be great examples of the English literature in India. During the last 150 years, many writers have contributed to the development of modern Indian culture. Along with this, modern Indian literature and written in a number of regional languages as well as in English. One of the greatest Bengali writers, Rabindranath Tagore, became the first Indian to win the Nobel Prize for Literature, Gitanjali it is, in the year 1913. Let's talk about English literature. Several other writers also became famous in the modern period of India, such as Mulk Raj Anand, who wrote famous novel like Untouchable in the year 1935 and Coolie in the year 1936. R.K. Narayan, who wrote novels and tales of village in the southern India like Swami and Friends. Among the younger authors is Anita Desai, who wrote famous novels like Clear Light of Day in 1980 and In Custody. Here, by this, the other well-known novelists and writers like Dom Morris, Arun Kolatkar, Manohar Malgaonkar, Arun Joshi, Khushwant Singh, etc. etc. Among the latest are The Vikram Sheth, A Suitable Boy, Alan Sele, The Trotter Nama, Shashi Tharoor, Show Business, Amitav Ghosh, Circle of Reason, Shadow Lines. These are the novels. In the recent past, a whole new generation has started with the popular writings of women authors like Arundhati Roy, Booker Prize winner for God of Small Things, Jhumpa Lahiri, 2000, Pulitzer Prize winner in fiction, Shobha Day. Very good morning, students. In our earlier video, we have discussed about literature, Sanskrit literature, Hindi literature and English literature. Today we are going to discuss about folk and tribal art. India had always been known as the land that portrayed cultural and traditional vibrancy through its conventional arts and crafts. The 28 states and union territories sprawled across the country have their own distinct cultural and traditional identities and are displayed through various forms of art prevalent there. Every region in India has its own style and pattern of art, which is known as folk art. Other than folk art, there is yet another form of traditional art practiced by several tribes or rural population, which is classified as tribal art. The folk and tribal arts of India are very ethnic and simple, and yet colorful and vibrant enough to speak volumes about the country's rich heritage. Folk art in India apparently has a great potential in the international market because of its traditional aesthetic sensibility and authenticity. The rural folk paintings of India bear distinctive colorful designs which are treated with religious and mystical motifs. Some of the most famous folk paintings of India are the Madhubani paintings of Bihar, Pattachitra paintings from the state of Odisha, the Nirmal paintings of Andhra Pradesh, and the other such folk art forms. Folk art is, however, not restricted only to paintings but also stretches to other art forms such as pottery, home decorations, ornaments, cloth making, and so on. In fact, the potteries of some of the regions of India are quite popular among foreign tourists because of their ethnic and traditional beauty. Moreover, the regional dances of India, such as Bhangra dance of Punjab, the Dandiya of Gujarat, the Bihu dance of Assam, which project the cultural heritage of those regions and are prominent contenders in the field of Indian folk art. These folk dances are performed by people to express their exhilaration on every possible event or occasion, such as the arrival of seasons, the birth of a child, weddings, festivals, etc. The Government of India, as well as other societies and associations, have therefore made all efforts to promote such art forms which have become an intrinsic part of India's cultural identity. Tribal art, like folk art, has also progressed considerably. Due to the constant development efforts of the Indian government and other organizations, tribal art generally reflects the creative energy found in the rural areas that acts as an undercurrent to the craftsmanship of the tribal people. Tribal art ranges through a wide range of art forms such as wall paintings, tribal dances, tribal music, and so on. Very good morning, students. In our earlier video, we have discussed about folk and tribal art. Here you have some of the images of folk and tribal art. Now let us know more about some of the famous folk and tribal art of India. Tanjore art. Folk art is linked with the forgotten art of storytelling. Paintings are used to depict the visual counterpoint in narration in every region of India. Art forms of Rajasthan, Gujarat, and Bengal narrate the myths and legends of the local heroes and deities and construct a kaleidoscopic image of our glorious past and rich cultural heritage as well. Each work is a complete narration in itself, giving us a glimpse of the past, which has been kept alive by talent and devotion of our artist. Madhubani painting. Madhubani painting, also referred to as Mithila art, as it flourishes in the Mithila region of Bihar, which is characterized by line drawings filled in by bright colors and contrast or patterns. This style of painting has been traditionally done by women of the region, though today men are also involved to meet the demand. These paintings are popular because of their tribal motifs and use of bright earthy colors. These paintings are done with mineral pigments prepared by the artist. The work is done on freshly plastered or a mud wall. Warli folk painting. Maharashtra is known for its Warli folk paintings. Warli is the name of the largest tribe found on the northern outskirts of Mumbai in western India. Despite being in such close proximity of the largest metropolis in India, Warli tribals shun all influences of modern urbanization. Warli art was first discovered in the early 70s. While there are no records of the exact origin of this art, its roots may be traced to as early as 10th century AD. Warli is the vivid expression of daily and social events of the Warli tribe of Maharashtra, which is used by them to embellish the walls of the village houses. This was the only means of transmitting folklore to a populace not acquainted with a written word. This art form is simple in comparison to vibrant paintings of Madhubani. Pattachitra painting. Pattachitra style of painting is one of the oldest and most popular art form of Odisha. The name Pattachitra has evolved from the Sanskrit word patta, meaning canvas, and chitra, meaning picture. Pattachitra is thus a painting done on canvas and is manifested by rich colorful application, creative motifs and designs, and portrayal of simple themes, mostly mythological in depiction. Some of the popular themes represented through this art form are Thiya Badiya, depiction of the temple of Jagannath; Krishna Leela, enactment of Jagannath as Lord Krishna, displaying his powers as a child; Dasbatara Patti, the 10 incarnations of Lord Vishnu; Panchamukhi, depiction of Lord Ganesh as a 5-headed deity. Rajasthani miniature painting. The art of the miniature painting was introduced to the land of India by the Mughals, who brought the much revered art form from Persia. In the 16th century, the Mughal ruler Humayun brought artists from Persia, who was specialized in miniature paintings. The succeeding Mughal emperor Akbar built an atelier for them to promote the rich art form. These artists on their part trained Indian artists who produced paintings in a new distinctive style. Inspired by the royal and romantic lives of the Mughals, the particular miniature produced by the Indian artist in their own style is known as Rajput or Rajasthani miniature. During this time, several schools of paintings evolved, such as Mewar in Udaipur, Bundi, Kotha, Marwar in Jodhpur, Bikaner, Jaipur, and Kishangarh, etc. Kalme Zuttu. Names like Rangoli, Kolam, etc. are not new to us, and neither is the tradition of drawing them at the entrance of homes and temples. In fact, it is part of the domestic routine in Hindu households, who consider it auspicious to draw certain patterns at the doorstep and courtyard to welcome a deity into the house. This art form is a harmonious blend of Aryan, Dravidian, and tribal traditions. Kalme Zuttu is a unique form of this art found in Kerala. It is essentially a ritualistic art practiced in temples and sacred groves of Kerala, where the representation of deities like Kali and Lord Ayyappa are made on the floor. Very good morning, students. In our earlier video, we have discussed about folk and tribal art. In this video, we are going to discuss about handicrafts. Before that, I just wanted to show you some of the images of folk and tribal art. Here it is. Let's discuss about handicrafts. Handicrafts are the creative products made by the skill of the hand without the help of modern machinery and equipments. Nowadays, handmade products are considered to be a fashion statement and an item of luxury. India's rich cultural heritage and centuries of evolutionary tradition is manifested by the huge variety of handicrafts made all over the country. Handicrafts are a mirror of the cultural identity of the ethnic people who make it. Through the ages, handicrafts made in India like the Kashmiri woolen carpets, zari embroidered fabrics, terracotta and ceramic products, silk fabrics, etc. have maintained their exclusiveness. In the ancient times, these handicrafts were exported to far off countries of Europe, Africa, West Asia, and Far East via the Silk Route. The entire wealth of timeless Indian handicrafts has survived through the ages. These crafts carry the magnetic appeal of the Indian culture that promises exclusivity, beauty, dignity, and style. Indian handicrafts could be broadly divided into three categories: folk crafts, religious crafts, and commercial crafts. Popular folk crafts that are modified according to the demands of the market become commercial crafts. The handicrafts are made for the diverse rites and rituals associated with the religious faiths of the varied ethnic groups of India. Some of the handicrafts basically meant for the religious purposes and also liked by the people for their aesthetic value. This is all about handicrafts. Thank you.